Welcome to a video from thedigital-lifestyle.com. This video we're looking at this Acer Liquid Z220. This is a budget phone from Acer running Android 5.0 and was launched back in Mobile World Congress earlier this year. So when I say budget, this is really its budget. It's around €89. I've reviewed quite a few budget phones recently with a lot of the Lumia lines, and this is the cheapest Android phone that I've reviewed. So what can I say about this? Well, first, the look and feel. It's got quite a glossy screen, as you can probably see from there. I've got the brightness turned up to full at the moment, because it's better for the camera. But even at sort of 50%, it's still quite readable. So the screen's quite nice. I'll give you the specs on the screen. It's got this sort of a plastic back, textured plastic back on there. I don't know if the camera really picks it out, but yeah, so it's not glossy, and which means it doesn't pick up the fingerprints on the back. And there's a slight bump there, which you can see, which is for the camera and the flash. So it's a 4-inch screen, so I prefer a larger phone, so it's a bit on the small side for me. But like I said, it's a reasonable screen. It's running at 480 by 800, so again, not high res or like some of the high-end phones, but for a budget price, this is pretty much what you expect. But it's got good colour reproduction on there, so the screen is okay for the price range. So other specs it's got a dual core Qualcomm 1.2 GHz Snapdragon 200, which is okay. I did notice a bit of lag sometimes when you're switching between apps. It probably seems to be okay at the moment. It runs most of the time. I say you can sort of see it every now and again. Most of the time it runs fine. It's just when you're switching between some of the larger apps like Gmail and then maybe the store, you do see sort of a lag. But it's not too bad, to be honest. For that price range, I think its performance is reasonable. It's fairly fast switching from apps to apps, and you can go to the camera. You see, it's not too long to load up. I'm talking to camera. It's going to be difficult to show on here. I'll include some outdoor pictures in the blog post that go with this on thedigital-lifestyle.com. The camera is a 5 megapixel rear camera and a 2 megapixel front, and so there's a 89-degree wide angle on that. So I'll take a picture. Okay, so I took a picture there. Let's have a look. So you can see the colour is washed out compared, so this table here, the colour is a bit washed out compared to the actual table colour, and it's a little bit on the blurry side as well. Let's go back, let me do another one. So there's the picture that I've just taken, and you can zoom in and you can see, the definition is very blurry on there compared to if I'd taken that with my Lumia 1520 or my Nexus 5. So picture quality is not great, and I said a little bit washed out when you compare the wood colour there. There's using the front-facing camera, and again you can see that's a little bit, well, a lot blurry. So yeah, not too impressed with the camera side of things, but again, you're talking about budget price. It's got 8 gig of storage on board and 1 gig of RAM. 8 gig of storage, it doesn't give you a lot really with Android. I think after installing just these few apps, I've got about 3 gig left, so not a huge amount of space on there. Having said that, it does include, you can add an SD card, a MicroSD card in if you take the back off. So it gives you that storage option, and you can install apps to the SD card in some cases. So, but you certainly can put your media on there. So again, a budget option, and many of the Lumia budget phones that I've tested have got exactly the same restrictions as well. There's not really a lot to say on this. It's a budget phone. It does its job okay. It comes with Android 5.0 and a few Acer apps. There isn't a whole lot of apps installed on here actually, which is quite surprising. Acer tend to stick a lot of stuff on there, especially on the PC side of things. This hasn't. I've added a couple of apps, Groove Music and MB and Plex, to test out some media streaming, which work fine. You can use a Groove Music which is Microsoft Music Service, or you can use Google Play Music, whatever you want. So performance wise, it's fine for a budget phone. The camera is probably a big letdown because it's a 5 megapixel. It's pretty poor image quality. I think that's probably just the optics on it, and the performance is reasonable. It's a budget phone, €89. You know, that's what you'd expect. I mean, personally, I'd probably go for something like a Lumia 630 or 535, or even the 435, and get one of the cheaper Windows phones. But this is running Android, and I know a lot of people want to run Android. So if Android is what you need and you want to get the apps available with Android, then and this is your budget, then it's an okay phone. It doesn't feel too cheap and plasticky, and it does the job quite well. It's no flagship, but €89, what do you expect? Anyway, that's a quick look at this phone, the Acer Liquid Z220. More information on the digitallifestyle.com and our YouTube channel.